Hey guys, how's it going? So I want to share with you a quick technique on how to use your suffering to your advantage. So basically, you want to connect with your worst moment, the worst thing you ever went through, the worst period of time, and just really reflect on like how bad it was. And that any moment that's not that moment is a great thing. Like you really want to genuinely connect with that. So for example, let's say you had a period of time that was just the worst, however that's unique to you. And you know what it's like to suffer. You know what it's like to be in that. But then you might find yourself in a situation just day to day, and you find yourself kind of complaining or like wishing you had something that you don't have, or thinking about how they have something that you don't have, and how it was probably better over there or better in their shoes. Whatever it is, you can remind yourself, oh, I know what it's like to suffer, and this is not that. Now, of course, if you really suffer all the time, this doesn't really work. But for most people, you all have probably an experience in which you suffered greatly. And it's good to remind yourself that any moment that's not that moment is a good day. Perhaps it's a good day to be grateful or thankful or happy, or it's a good way to remind yourself that what you're going through really isn't that bad according to your own life experience. Because it's just so easy to like fall into the trap of like the mind and like, oh, this is uncomfortable. Oh, I'm a little grumbly in the stomach. Oh, I wish I had that. Oh, if I had their looks, my life would be better. Like that's just the monologue that seems to happen in a lot of us. And like this technique that I'm trying to show you can really kind of just reorient the way you look day to day, moment to moment at what suffering actually is. Because when you really suffer, you know it. And then for whatever reason, you can kind of quickly forget it. Like you're like, oh, thank God that's gone. But then you just kind of go back into the mumbo jumbo of like, oh, today's kind of good. Oh, today's a little worse. Yada, yada, yada. Like you can really use this to really kind of just like uplift yourself to just a better state in general. Because if you're not suffering like you really suffered before, it's a great moment, isn't it? Like reorient every moment in relation to that worst moment. Because if it's not that moment, it's good. It's a good day. It's a really good day. Because at one point, like I had so many spiritual experiences, and I always got into this little rut of like, well, it's not as good as it was. Oh, if I can just maintain that peace, or if I can just maintain that really incredible like energy, then it's good. And it just didn't help because it was always kind of like a lack. It was a lack that was always taking place. And I can't remember where it was, but someone kind of pointed to what I'm sharing today. It's not quite the same, but like I realized like, oh wait, yeah, I'm not suffering like I know what suffering is. And for that reason, this is good. This is a good moment. So like that's the simplicity of the technique. You repeat it, you keep reminding yourself of it, and then it just becomes normal, it becomes real, it becomes habit. Because whether you know it or not, just you're born into a human mind that generally sees the grass greener on the other side, or has something to complain about, or finds something wrong, or not all minds are like this, but a lot of minds have this to various degrees. And again, this technique can really retrain that orientation level of what you find acceptable or good or pleasurable or happy or fine or good. Yeah, I don't overcomplicate it, but it's just like you become the writer of your new happiness because once you really suffered, uh, not suffering is a good day. Now, of course, you could say this technique falls apart when you find yourself in a worse situation. But then, yeah, there's probably a different approach, or maybe it's just going to be a hard time at that point. But in general, your day to day isn't your worst moment. And the quicker you recognize that, I think the quicker you recognize that and the quicker you practice that as just your own reminder, I think the quicker you'll find that you'll just be happier at a baseline. Because again, it's not your worst moment. All right, I'll leave it at that. Quick and about 5 minutes. All right, take care, guys. Bye.